Good morning, friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kara, for those of you who haven't met me yet, and I run a crochet small business. If this is your first time here, please make sure that you subscribe to join our little community of love and support, and introduce yourself down in the comments so that I can meet you and officially welcome you to our little family. So it is currently 9:22 in the morning and I've kind of already started my day. We of course had to have our coffee and I ate some breakfast this morning, and we also took Eden out on a little walk, so I'll insert some clips of that to show you. So we are back in from our walk and she is very tired. As you can see, she's ready to go take a nap. So let me go put her down for a little nap and I will be right back. You want to say hi? Say hi, my name is Eden. Hi, my name is Eden. So I wanted to show you guys a little bit of a new product that I've been working on lately. If you guys don't already know, I do sell crocheted keychains. I have bumblebees, blueberries, cherries, strawberries, what else? Cookies, ice cream cones. I have a bunch of different crochet keychains and they've been doing actually really well for me lately, so I wanted to kind of step up my keychain game and offer something a little bit different. So let me show you what I came up with. I made this guy right here and I think I'm gonna call these like my luxury keychains. So I will still offer keychains that just have the crocheted plushie on it, but I wanted something a little bit different. It looks like this, and then I have the crocheted bumblebee. Hello, there we go. The bumblebee is actually my pattern. I have it for free over on my Instagram if you're interested in it. And I made this one with the, what is it? I think it's called Feels Like Bliss. The Feels Like Bliss yarn from Michaels. And then all of the rest of this beading and jump rings and everything else I got from Hobby Lobby. So here's my dilemma with this. While I think it's so cute and I'm absolutely obsessed with this, the material cost to make this guy is way more than I was expecting it would be after I weighed everything and priced everything out. So just in materials, which means the yarn, the polyfill, the safety eyes, all the beading, just material cost, this keychain cost, hold on, I wrote it down so I could tell you the exact amount. So just in materials, this guy cost me to make $6.35. Mind you, that doesn't take into account the labor and time it took to crochet the plushie and assemble the keychain, which actually does take quite a long time, I've come to find. So depending on where I would be selling this, you know, if I'm selling it on Etsy, I would need to incorporate Etsy fees. If I'm selling it at a market, markets do cost a fee to get in. So I don't feel like I'll be able to charge what this item would really be worth once you factor in all of those things. I was doing the math, and if I were to sell this on Etsy, after you put in the Etsy fees, the shipping box, I would ship it in, all of my packing materials and everything, this would end up costing to make and ship $9.82, which doesn't really leave very much room for profit. So if you guys could let me know what you would charge for this or how much you would be willing to pay for it, that would really help me out so that I can know if this is something that would really be worth my time to do. Although I really do love it. I think it's super cute and super adorable. I just don't know, like from a business standpoint, if this would be the smartest move for me. So let me know. I was personally thinking maybe $14, which again, doesn't really give me any room for profit, and when you factor in the labor it took to make this, I would probably be losing money. But I don't know, if you guys could let me know your opinion and what you think on these. I do have about, what, 6 or 7 bumblebees that I've already made, so I am going to go ahead and turn all of those into little keychains. I have, if it'll focus, let's see. I have like a classic yellow one, and then I also have this pink one, and to go with the pink one I do have like pink beads and little pink like decorative pieces to make it into a cute little keychain. So let me know, because as much as I love this, I just don't know if it is going to be the smartest move for me business wise. So I'm gonna set all of those aside for now until you guys let me know what you think. But next on our to-do list for today, I do want to kind of streamline and get ahead on a few things to help speed up my process of packing orders. If you guys aren't familiar with my order packing videos and kind of my process of doing things, I have a ton of those videos over on my Instagram if that's something you are interested in. But let me go ahead and kind of give you a quick rundown of the products I use to pack orders and what we are going to do today to kind of streamline that process. I went ahead and pulled out all of my shipping materials, so let me go ahead and show you everything I use and kind of run you through the process of how I pack orders. To ship my products, I have two different ways I do that, either using a poly mailer or boxes. These are the poly mailers that I use. These are a 13 by 10. And then as far as the boxes go, I do have a couple different sizes. This one here is my smallest box. This is a 6 by 4 by 3. And these fit like my mini size plushies, so my keychains, my bumblebees, my stress bears, my land turtles all fit in this size box. The next size I have is a 6 by 6 by 6, and I don't typically use these, but a friend of mine had some left over that she gave to me, so of course I'm going to use them. The next size that I use is a 9 by 6 by 4. These typically fit my bigger turtles or my cows, or if I have several small plushies, I will ship them in this size box. And then lastly, my bigger box is this one. This is a 14 by 10 by 8. I don't use these very often, but if I do have larger orders, I will ship them in this big guy. And if you are interested in any of these boxes or the box sizes, I do have them linked in my Amazon storefront under my order packing essentials. So everything I mentioned in this video you can find there. The poly mailers, the boxes, the tape, the tissue paper, the stickers, everything will be linked there for you. And if there's something that you can't find, or if you have any questions about it, feel free to shoot me a message or leave a comment down below. Just to kind of streamline my order packing process, I'm gonna go ahead and stamp all of my boxes now. This is the stamp that I use. It just has my logo on it. And I got this from a small business on Etsy. I wanna say it's SAYABELL stamps. Hold on, let me look it up so I can tell you exactly. Yes, SAYABELL stamps is who I get my stamps from. And I use this to stamp my boxes for shipping as well as my bags for a market. And I've had this stamp for well over a year. It's probably close to 2 years at this point, and she is still holding strong. So yes, let's go ahead and stamp all of these boxes and then we can put them away, and this will just kind of help speed up my shipping process. So there are a few tips and tricks I've learned over the years of stamping boxes and bags. When I stamp my boxes, I can just do it straight up on the box. But when I'm stamping my bags for markets, especially if I'm doing it on a hard surface like a table, you can see I have this desk pad which is kind of squishy, but if I'm going to do it on like a hard surface, I take this little square of cardboard and just slip it behind the bag and stamp right on top of this, because it gives a little bit and it's a little bit squishy, and it just helps the stamp apply more evenly so you don't have like gaps where the ink didn't transfer all the way. I use this ink pad, which actually came free when I ordered my stamp, so that's perfect. And again, like a year and a half later and it's still kicking. Let's go ahead and get our little stationed set up. So I just kind of tap the stamp on the ink pad to get it completely covered in ink. I will center the stamp where I want it to go, push down, and then I kind of go in a circular motion to apply even pressure so that we get a nice even stamp. I'm going to flip her over, get more ink on my stamp, and repeat the same process for all of these boxes. And if you're interested in getting a stamp from this small business on Etsy, they do have lots of different sizes, so they're going to have anything that you might need. But I think this size works perfectly for me and my boxes and my bag and my logo design. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp all of these boxes, and I will catch you guys in a little bit. now our boxes are all stamped and put away, and I also cleaned my stamp. Make sure you are cleaning your stamp. If you order from the same small business that I got my stamp from, she sends you instructions on how to properly clean and care for your stamp so that it lasts as long as possible. I thought I would just go ahead and show you the rest of the products that I used to pack my orders. I wrap each plushie in this white tissue paper. Again, I got it on Amazon. They have a bunch of different colors available. And then to close off the tissue paper, I use this sticker. It says handmade with love, and again, I got these on Amazon as well. Also, in each order, I like to include a business card as well as a thank you / care card. My business cards as well as my thank you / care cards I actually designed and ordered from Canva. This video is not sponsored, by the way, but I absolutely love Canva as a small business owner. That's what I used to, again, design these cards. I used it to design my logo. I use it to design all of my YouTube thumbnails. I think it's just an overall great site, and most of the stuff I did design using the free version of Canva. They do have a paid version, which I do have now, but I know for sure my logo, my banner that I take to markets, my care card, and my business card, I all designed just using the free version of Canva. And I also get these printed and shipped to me, my business cards and my care cards, directly through Canva. So each order gets a thank you / care card, and each order also gets a business card. This is what mine look like if you are interested. And the last thing I like to include in all of my orders are little goodie bags or freebie bags. Now, typically I do order these bags on Amazon. I actually ordered these specific ones through AliExpress, and they said they were the same dimensions, but of course they were not. The ones I get from Amazon and the ones that I do have linked in my storefront can fit a business card in them. But as you can see, these are just a teeny tiny bit too small and they don't really close all the way. But that's fine, we're still gonna make these work. I will just keep the business card outside of the bag. So in each bag, I like to include a piece of candy and 3 stickers. I like to switch up the candy every now and then. Right now, I have these individually wrapped Sour Patch Kids. But I have done hard candy before in the past. If you are gonna give candy out with your orders, just make sure it's not something that's gonna melt in the heat, because you would hate to have something that's like chocolate based and then it melts and then it ruins the plushie. That would just be heartbreaking. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and prep some freebie bags in advance so that they're all ready to go. I'm only gonna make as many freebie bags as I have Sour Patch Kids, so I don't know, maybe I have 20 or 30. So let's go ahead and pack up these freebie bags next. our freebie bags are made, we are going to move on to our next project of the day. For our next project, I need to put the finishing touches on a new pattern I'm actually designing. You might have already seen the plushies hanging out in the background of this video, but let me go ahead and show them to you. Here they are. This is the next pattern I'm designing, and this is actually a 3-in-1 pattern, so there's 3 different sizes. This is our biggest one, and I actually designed it with another face originally. This is the one that I use in the pattern, but you can add different size safety eyes to give it a different look. So again, this is the biggest one. These are our medium-sized fellas, again with the different faces. And then here is our little baby one. So yes, my next pattern is going to be a 3-in-1 no-sew corn on the cob pattern. And again with Canva, I design all of my patterns in Canva. I already have the pattern typed out. I already have the photos taken. I just need to edit the photos, upload them to the document, and kind of put the finishing touches on there. If you are interested in pattern testing this pattern for me, I'll have a tester call posted on my Instagram the day that this video goes live. So definitely head over to my Instagram if you're interested in testing this corn on the cob pattern for me. Let's go ahead and start adding the finishing touches to this pattern over on Canva. Real quick, let me go ahead and give you the dimensions of the corn on the cob if you are interested. The biggest one is about 7.5 inches tall. The medium or small size is about 6 inches tall, and then our little mini fella is about 3 3/4 inches tall. And I made all of those with a size 6. Hold on, let me double check that. Yes, I made all of those with a size 6 yarn, and I use a 5mm crochet hook. But again, your sizes might vary slightly depending on what size yarn you use, or even what brand of yarn you use, and which size crochet hook that you use. Okay, anyways, over to Canva. Let's start finalizing this pattern. It is a little bit later on in the afternoon now. I got everything finished over on Canva for our corn on the cob pattern. I do just want to breeze through it one more time before I have it ready to go out to our testers. Again, if you are interested in testing this pattern, the tester call is live as of today over on my Instagram, so definitely go check that out. What I think I'm going to work on for the rest of the day is finishing up some cows that I have started. You guys know I am infamous for having way too many whips going on at one time, so I definitely want to get some of those finished up this afternoon / evening. Let me show you the ones that I have already started. I first have this guy right here. As you can see, I've not made very much progress, but I have the legs. Let's see, I have his ears, his little snout, and his arms already done. And once you get those pieces made, this pattern does come together very quickly. This is the pattern that I use for pretty much all of my cows. The pattern is over on Etsy and it's by Mom Stitchetti. I'll have it linked for you down below if you are interested in it. But that's pretty much the base pattern I use for all of my cows. I might add some different details or tweak a couple things, but that's the base pattern that I use. And for this fall themed cow specifically, I'm using this yarn. It's a burnout blanket tweed yarn. And then for the little, whoa, almost dropped everything. And then for the little details slash accents of that cow, I'm using this yarn. This is the Premier Basics Chenille yarn in the color Rust. And let me actually show you the safety eyes that I'm going to use for this guy. I haven't cleaned them yet, so bear with me. I'm going to use these gold glitter eyes, which I think complements the yarn color very well. If you can kind of see that, I think they're absolutely beautiful. As I mentioned earlier in this year, my goal for 2025 is to get better at painting safety eyes and potentially start selling them. I don't know, we'll see. I really want to have them down perfectly before I even consider selling them. I'm sorry, I am in a Instagram like group chat and it is just going off right now. Sorry about that. Right now to paint eyes, I am just using loose glitter and a water-based sealant, I believe. And then I also have like holographic flakes that I use on certain eyes as well. Hold on, let me show you those so you can kind of see the difference. So if you can see, these are the eyes that I use loose glitter for, and these are like the holographic flakes, which I think are absolutely beautiful and I love them. But I do want to switch over to using resin to make my safety eyes because I know they just hold up a little bit better and they're a little bit of a better quality. So if you're someone who makes your own safety eyes and you use a resin like UV light kit, please let me know any tips and tricks you may have, any products that you absolutely love, because this is going to be completely new to me. I've found a couple kits over on Amazon, but I don't really know like what's good quality, what works, what doesn't work. Please let me know any tips and tricks you may have for making your own safety eyes. That was that cow. Let me go ahead and show you the other ones that I'm also working on. This whole bag is literally whips. I told you I always have way too many going on at one time. All of the rest of these cows are sprinkle cows, what I like to call them. For these, I use the yarn from Michael's, what is it called? It's either called Fuzzy Flex or Fluffy Flex, something like that. And that was actually a limited edition yarn. I think Michael's is actually in the process of discontinuing it right now because they're all on clearance for, I believe, $5 a skein. I have this one right now, again, with the glitter eyes. This is my blue one. Hold on, let me show you the rest of his pieces. If you can kind of visualize it, he's gonna have his little blue snout, his, oh, whoa. If I can hold it, his blue ears, and then his little horns. It looks crazy right now, but it's all gonna come together, I promise. Anyways, we have a blue sprinkle cow. We also have a pink sprinkle cow. The pink one is actually the only one I ever made before, and I took her to a market and she sold probably within the first hour of that market. Let me show you the eyes I'm gonna use with her. I have these right here, which are like the holographic flake eyes. You can't really see it on camera, but these are definitely pink with some yellow and a little bit of green reflex. So I think that pairs really well with the pink sprinkle cow. I haven't made too much progress on the others. I've only made the ears, the snouts, and the horns. But I am also going to do a green and a purple sprinkle cow. Here are the eyes I'm using for the green one. And then here are the eyes I'm using for the purple gal. That's basically what I'm going to work on the rest of the day today, is finishing up all of these cows. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get them all finished today, but I'm definitely going to try my best, but also not push myself. So yes, let's go ahead and work on these cows and I will show you them all when we're finished. also forgot to mention that with the burlap blanket cow, I'm using a 5mm hook, and then with the sprinkle cows, which is the fluffy flex or fuzzy flex yarn, I'm using a 6mm hook. Actually a couple days later, but I didn't want to close out this video without showing you all of the cows I was able to finish, so let me show them to you. This first one I actually think is my favorite one, and technically she's not finished yet, but here she is. This is like my fall themed cow. I'm gonna make her a little dark brown purse and put a sunflower on it, but other than that, this is how she turned out. Let me see if I can get a close-up on the eyes for you. Yeah, these are just the glitter eyes that I make myself. I think she is beautiful, and I absolutely loved how this one turned out. Next, moving on to our sprinkle cows, I have 4 of those to show you. Here is our pink sprinkle cow, and I don't know if I've already mentioned it in the video, but the pink one is the only one I've ever actually made before. And there are her eyes. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but they're like a holographic pink with some blue, some green, some yellow in there. I don't know if you can kind of see them, but I loved how she turned out. I did want to mention one thing to you. I don't know if any of you have worked with this yarn before. I think this is the Loops and Threads Fuzzy Flex or Fluffy Flex, something like that. I don't know if it just happened to be the few skeins that I purchased, but I did notice that all of the colored yarn, meaning what did I have? Pink, purple, green, and blue. All of those colors were a lot thicker than this white. I think, if I remember correctly on the label, I think this said this was a weight 5 yarn, and I definitely think this is thicker than a weight 5. Maybe the white is like close to a weight 5. I would even say it's a weight 6. And the colors, like I said, the pink, the purple, the blue, the green, to me definitely are much thicker. Not only thicker than a weight 5, but thicker than the white yarn itself from this line. But again, I don't know if that just happened to be the ones that I purchased. So if you've worked with this yarn before, let me know if you have noticed that the white is a lot thinner than the other colors of this line. But nonetheless, here is our pink girl. Then moving on to our next one, we have our blue. I actually, at a few markets ago, the lady who purchased my pink one asked if I had a blue one, and at the time I didn't, but now I do. So here he is. And there are his eyes for you to see. Again, absolutely love this one. Next, we have our green cow, and this kind of reminds me of like mint chocolate chip ice cream, even though there's like not really any brown in here, just with the sprinkle look and the green. It reminds me of mint chocolate chip for sure. And here are the eyes on him. Super cute, very pretty, absolutely love this one. And for our last cow, this is definitely my favorite like sprinkle cow that I made. And that is our purple one. And let me get a close-up of her eyes for you. These are definitely my favorite eyes that I made for these cows. These I did with those holographic flecks that I was talking about earlier, and I did the black paint behind them. I don't know, I just love the effect that it gives. So these were all of our sprinkle cows. Let me know down in the comments which one was your favorite. And that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you all so much for spending the day with me, even though it was like kind of a day plus a little bit more. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. It lets me know that you like this style of video and that you want to see more. As always, thank you all so much for being here, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!